what's happening, everyone? Pragmatic Addict here. I'm here with JTJ, of course, because we are reacting to the new season of Beavis and Butthead. Well, first episode. So I'm just gonna say it. There was a point where I was like, we might not be reviewing this. We don't have cable, and we have Paramount Plus, which is where the first two seasons were airing. So we were like, okay, well, it'll probably be like next day thing. Didn't happen. I was kind of panicking a little bit. I was like, well, Conjuring 4 comes out today. Get that review, I guess. But last thing I tried was going to ComedyCentral.com. That's where I found the episode. So if you guys are in the same position I'm in, you're welcome. So each episode has two little episodes. It's always weird to describe that, but episodes are Braces and Heart Attack. So the first one of this first episode, Braces, reads, Butthead loses his braces and realizes he's beautiful. Opening up this episode with Beavis eating this caramel apple, just the jokes he and Butthead are making about the caramel apple, you get those two different levels of Beavis and Butthead comedy where it sounds like something Butthead would say, it sounds like shit Beavis would say. Butthead is ripping on Beavis for eating fruit, where Beavis just goes, the apple's got a stick up its butt. And when Butthead decides to take a bite of this apple, once the caramel apple gets stuck to his braces, seeing Beavis specifically being the one that's trying to get this caramel apple off of Butthead's braces, the things he tries as well as the little one-liners he busts out along the way, cringe-inducing in that painful humor way that you want out of that Beavis and Butthead humor, and things I could see people just randomly quoting on a whim from now on.
I still want to know where Beavis got the candy apple to begin with.
That's a good question, because he just kind of comes in with it, and then Butthead starts ripping on him. It's like, where the fuck did you get that, Beavis?
He probably found it on the ground somewhere and just started eating it.
And when Butthead has his braces off now, the cringiness of him displaying how hot he thinks he is, the animation and the things he's saying. It was a fun thing to see in Beavis and Butthead animation, and it was that classic Butthead cockiness, that comedy aside from Beavis, that made him stand out equally as much in his own way in this episode. And the ending is just what you want. As a finale where obviously Beavis has just gotten so much shit through the episode and he's just had enough, and the idea he comes up with to reversing the whole thing, it's a great finale. It got a ton of laughs. It's memorable. It has great quotes from Beavis in his anger side. It felt like that classic new Beavis and Butthead episode where you're just like, how have we not seen this yet? It's just simply a new Beavis and Butthead episode that you'd want. And I'm going to give it a positive review.
Seeing Beavis and Butthead after all this time, this is a funny start to see.
It was a good first episode.
I think I'm going to rate it a 7.8.
So the second part of this first episode is titled Heart Attack. And I was looking at all of the different episodes, because if you go on Rotten Tomatoes, there's like a list of all the episodes and it shows what they all describe or like their plots. And it looks like for each episode, I can't remember if this is how it was in the first two seasons of this revival, but the first episode seems like it's going to be young Beavis and Butthead, and the second episode of each one is going to be old Beavis and Butthead. And this second one, which is obviously middle-aged Beavis and Butthead, it reads, middle-aged Butthead suffers a heart attack and it's up to Beavis to save him. So, right off the bat in this episode, Butthead has so many quotable lines. Maybe the most he's had in just one combo, and definitely as old Butthead. Just from the perspective of him being a shit in general, but also being a shit to Beavis. And old Beavis has memorable quotes as well in response to everything. It just wasn't as strong. It wasn't as strong as Butthead's one-liners, and it wasn't as strong as classic Beavis. It still feels like Beavis, just older, worn out, just overall not having quite as much of that young Beavis charm. But I will say, overall, after this, there was a point where I didn't find the episode to be too funny at first, but once Butthead does have his heart attack, and Beavis is trying to help him in that dark humor, that pain humor way that you, again, get with Beavis and Butthead, just Beavis's antics, I had a lot of fun with that. But after those first moments, just some of the humor of what Beavis does on his journey didn't really land for me. Just kind of felt like lazy, and the tone of the overall thing with the sequence of events didn't feel entirely like Beavis and Butthead to me. Overall, I'm gonna have to give this one a mixed review.
There was so many times at the beginning where I thought Butthead was just gonna fall on Beavis while having a heart attack, and then you're just gonna see Beavis just screaming for help because there's a man dying on him. And there was so much opportunity to just see Beavis taking full advantage of Butthead having his heart attack. Beavis could have kicked Butthead or something. I'm going to rate it a 5.8.
But that does it for this first episode, everyone. Let us know what your guys' thoughts were on these 2 episodes, as well as what your guys' thoughts were on our thoughts. But with all that being said, guys, we'll see you in the next one very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching.